Hello, today I'll be replacing the LCD screen for a Toshiba Satellite M505-S4945 serial. The first thing you want to do is to take the battery pack out from the back. So we're just going to pop this out real quick. There's two little latches on the side. You have one to lock it and one just to flip and pull out. Now there's 4 screws you're going to need to take out, one on each corner. And they have little holders or little caps, so you want to take those off with a sharp knife or even with a little Phillips screwdriver. Number 3 and number 4. So now the 4 screws are exposed. So now you're going to take a small Phillips screwdriver and you're going to take the screws out. They're very small screws, so make sure you find a place where you can put them. Now, the 2 top ones are pretty simple, but the 2 bottom ones, if you notice, they're kind of in there, but a regular screwdriver will be fine. Okay, now all 4 screws are removed, and here comes probably the trickiest part. So now we have to take the front cover off. So what I will be using is a nice flathead screwdriver, nice and small, and you want to get right up into the seam where the black meets the silver. It should start to pop off and just keep going all around. And try not to be too gentle with it, because the clamps are pretty difficult to get off. So don't be afraid that you're going to break it, because most likely you won't, as long as you're not trying to force it too much. Now the bottom is a bit tricky. You want to just keep fiddling with it and just pull up as you go. You might actually have to flip it over and work from it from the back too. Alright, like I said before, it is a bit difficult to get off, but with a little force you should be fine. Just don't be afraid to break it, because most likely you won't. So now the front is off. Now we can actually start to remove the screen. If you notice, the screen is kind of dangling with 2 rods on the sides. If you notice, there's 3 screws on each side. 1, 2, 3, and the same on the other side. Now with the same type of screwdriver, same size, we're going to have to remove these screws. Now these screws are very, very small, so you want to make sure you don't lose them. So we're going to start with the top one. If you notice, I have a little napkin set right here. That's where I'm putting all my stuff, just to make sure you're organized. Because if you lose one of these screws, I don't think you can find them anywhere. They're very, very small, made especially for this laptop. Okay, now we have one side off, so we're going to flip it around and do the other side. And you're going to do the same thing. You want to just take these screws out. There's two, and the last one, which is a little bit difficult to get. It's way at the bottom. Alright, 3. So now the LCD screen is off and it's connected, and the only thing that's holding it in is a connector or adapter, which is fairly simple to get off. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see. If you notice, it's just connected, very simple, to the LCD. It's kind of simple to get off also. There's a little piece of tape that you'll have to take off, and what you're going to do is you're just going to pop it out. Just get it taken off. Now we have the broken screen, and we're ready to put the new one in. Alright, so as you can see, the back of the screen is exposed and it's nice and bare. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the new screen, freshly packaged right from laptopscreen.com, and we're going to install it. It looks like they put a nice covering over so no scratches or fingerprints would get on it. So it looks like we're going to take this yellow tape off on both sides. Already getting fingerprints on it. Alright, so just like the old broken one, we see where the adapter or the socket is. So let's put that in. I'm going to zoom in for you guys so we can all see it. Alright, so just like the old one, we're going to pop it in like this, and we're going to put the tape down. Now it's fairly simple to get in. Just slides in there. Nice, and you might want to just keep pulling it a little bit, nice and gently, to make sure it's in there. Just going to put the tape back down. It should be ready to go. So now let's screw it back in, just doing the opposite steps as before. Now if you thought the taking it apart process was difficult, you'll be in for a treat, because this is actually the hardest part, putting these little screws back in here. It's a bit easier with a partner or somebody helping you, but for right now, looks like I'm on my own. We're going to put the top screw in. Remember, there's 3 on each side, 1 on the top, 1 in the middle, and 1 on the bottom. The bottom one is probably the most difficult one to get in, just because these screws are so small and it's at an angle also. Alright, so we got one side in there nice. Let's flip it around and put in the last 3 screws. Most of you guys will probably get bored watching me put these screws in, so you're going to fast forward to the next step anyways. But as you do this, you'll realize how difficult this actually is, especially when you have big fingers like me. Nice sausage fingers. Yeah. Alright, so all 3 screws in, top, middle, and bottom are in on each side. So now the screen is nicely in place, and now we got to put the cover back on. Just like before, we're going to put it in its slots. The easiest way to do it is put the bottom in first. Just tilt the screen back a little bit. Put the bottoms in. Should hear them snap a little bit. And then just as you go around the side, just snap them in place. There we go. Should fit in there very nicely. Alright, so I think most of the clamps are in, so let's put in some screws and we'll finish with the clamps later. Alright, so all 4 screws are in and the sides are popped in. Just quickly put in the battery pack and we'll turn it on and everything should be good to go. Give it a try here. And there we go. We got a perfect screen. Thanks to laptopscreen.com. Thank you guys. You guys have a great day.